Hi there, welcome to my channel. In this session, we will talk about the preface to IFRS Standards. This is a prerequisite in reading the Conceptual Framework. So, in this particular document, we will discuss the scope and authority of the IFRS Standards, the timing of application of it, as well as the format and language. Also, we will know the objectives of the preface. So let's start. I'm your lecturer, Professor Dale C. Ison, CPA CTP. The preface is issued to explain the scope, authority, and timing of application of IFRS standards. The preface was most recently amended in December 2018. Referring to the diagram below, the International Accounting Standards Board was established in 2001. The board was preceded by the Board of the International Accounting Standards Committee, or the IASC. When the term IFRS standards is used in this preface, it includes standards and IFRIC interpretations issued by the board, and International Accounting Standards and SIC interpretation issued by the predecessor, the IASC. As I've said on the class orientation, I'll highlight it again now. The Conceptual Framework for Financial Reporting is not a standard. The Conceptual Framework describes the objective of and the concepts for general purpose financial statements and other financial reporting. The purpose of the conceptual framework is to, first, assist the board to develop standards that are based on consistent concepts, assist preparers to develop consistent accounting policies when no standard applies to a particular transaction or other event, or when a standard allows a choice of accounting policies, and assist all parties to understand and interpret standards. IFRS standards are developed through an international due process set out in the IFRS Foundation Due Process Handbook. The standards are designed to apply to the general purpose financial statements and other financial reporting of profit-oriented entities. Take note and highlight here that the general purpose financial statements are primarily for the profit-oriented entities. The objective of the GPFS is to provide financial information about the reporting entity that is useful to existing and potential investors, lenders, and other creditors in making decisions relating to providing resources to the entity. Other financial reporting comprises information provided outside financial statements that assists in the interpretation of a complete set of financial statements or improves users' ability to make efficient economic decisions. To add, profit-oriented entities include those engaged in commercial, industrial, financial, and similar activities, whether organized in corporate or in other forms. They include organizations such as mutual insurance companies and other mutual cooperative entities that provide dividends or other economic benefits directly and proportionately to their owners, members, or participants. Although IFRS standards are not designed to apply to not-for-profit activities in the private sector, public sector or government entities with such activities may find them appropriate. The International Public Sector Accounting Standards Board prepares accounting standards for governments and other public sector entities other than the government business entities based on IFRS standards. Some standards permit different treatments for given transactions and events. The board's objective is to require like transactions and events to be accounted for and reported in a like way, and unlike transactions and events to be accounted for and reported differently both within an entity over time and among entities. Consequently, the board intends not to permit choices in accounting treatment. Also, the board has reconsidered and will continue to reconsider those transactions and events for which standards permit a choice of accounting treatment with the objective of reducing the number of those choices. Last slide, the timing of application of IFRS standards. IFRS standards apply from a date specified in the document. New or revised standards set out transitional provisions to be applied on their initial application. Exposure drafts are issued for comment and their proposals are subject to revision. Until the effective date of a standard, the requirements of any standard that would be affected by proposals in an exposure draft remain in form. Format and language. Standards issued by the board include paragraphs in bold type and plain type, which have equal authority, meaning they have equal prominence. Paragraphs in bold type indicate the main principles. An individual standard should be read in the context of the objectives stated in that standard.